exciting. So this is going to be a pretty in-depth interview because everyone, you know, we've heard stuff about you before, we've seen the papers. Just getting that little bit more of understanding of who you are as a person as well. So let's start from the beginning. Talk about when you were a teenager. Is this where you thought you were going to end up? Were you thinking of styling, fashion? Is that where your head was at?
No, I played football and wanted to play football for Ireland. So all I did as tomboy was hang out with the boys while everyone else snogged them and wore makeup. I just played football with them. So that's what I wanted to do. I was sports crazy.
So I was going to ask you, what was your fashion like back then? Was it trainers and
Disastrous.
shorts?
I was the worst dressed. In fact, because I was the tallest, and when we were going out drinking and they needed booze, everybody would dress me up because I was the tallest, and I hadn't a clue how to do makeup. So they would all paint me, do my hair, dress me up in heels and things I felt so uncomfortable wearing.
That's so surprising to hear.
To get all the booze.
So this is where you learnt the actual tricks of the trade from all them back then.
Yes, I did a sports course when I left school, and I did it out in Closh to Ida and Finglas, and I wanted to be a health and gym instructor. So I did aerobics and gym, and then I got a job part-time in a clothes shop, and that's where it all began, really.
That's where it all began. And so before then, let's talk about school, because leaving cert college, all that, it's like drone into our heads. What were the subjects that you were interested in, or were you interested in school at all?
None. I loved sports.
Okay.
Full stop. All I wanted to do was go out to the PE teacher and say, can I organise tournaments? Can I organise events? Can I organise? And you know, that's what I really loved. If I had to stand up and say a poem in front of the class, I would get a rash and nervous and uncomfortable.
Like half of the Rosa Tralee contestants did over the weekend, if anyone was watching it. Oh my God, the amount of poems. So you were the ultimate tomboy basically growing up.
Absolutely.
Complete surprise. So talk to me about how styling came into your life then. At what point did you realise this is something you're interested in? Obviously you went into wholesales first.
I started off in a shop called First Clothing in Rathmines, and I worked in that shop, and the problem was I was going from my college, or going from there I lived in Artane, so I'd get 2 buses, one into town and then one out to Rathmines. And for the money I was getting paid for 3 hours on a Friday, 3 hours Saturday, or 3 hours Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, I was spending it on lunch money and bus fare. But the shop would close at 9, and I would stay till the shopping centre closed till 11. And security used to throw me out because I'd stay in merchandise, taking in deliveries. And the owners were in Australia, and I'd phone them and say, you know, I think we need to change the windows. Can I merchandise the shop? I'll come in at 7.
So you annoyed the crap out of them, basically.
I loved it. And eventually, they gave me manager for the summer, the following summer, and I just fell in love with retail.
And what was it about retail specifically? Was it the way it made you feel seeing someone buy the clothes? Was it the literally setting up the physical merchandising and how that made you feel? Like, what was it that drew you in?
Well, once I started that, on my wish list became I want to have a clothes shop.
Okay.
So that was going to be in my vision and my plan. And I did have a clothes shop in Foxock for 7 years, and I had a hairdresser's beside it for 9 years. So really, that's how it stemmed. I'm a big one for making wishes, and I always say, you know, dream a dream. You have to action it to make it a reality. And I write everything down, whether it's the X Factor. I went for 10 years watching Louis Walsh going, I want to be on this show.
And there you were. So are you into mood boards and stuff? Because I'm very much into The Secret and into mood boards. Are you into mood boards? Sounds
well,
like you are.
You know, I read The Secret and I didn't get it because I'm a visual person. And then once I watched the DVD, I thought, I get it, and the law of attraction. So I absolutely will do that with car park spaces. And, you know, but I get these brainwaves and ideas, and then I just action it.
Have you ever written a check for yourself? They say write a check for yourself for the amount of money you want to be earning. Did you ever do that?
No, but I'd say Marissa Carter has done that many times and is doing so well.
Will Smith did it, so I think he's good. So when you started getting into things, I think the one thing a lot of people would want to know if they want to go down a similar path, how important is knowing the right people to get you to that door that gets you in, or networking, or do you honestly think it's just really hard work that gets you there?
Well, when I was pregnant, and we have 2 children, Sophie is 12 and Jolton's just 10, but on maternity leave, I didn't really take maternity leave because I had 2 shops. And it was really the last week when I saw Ireland AM for the first time, because normally I would be working and I never got to see it. And the show had just started a year on at that point, and I think it was Amanda Barham and Mark at the time. And I phoned the show bored, sitting at home. I'd watched every episode of Sopranos. I'd eaten my way through the cupboards, and I was bored. So I phoned Ireland AM and got Debbie O'Donnell, who's now the producer of Expose, and said, hi, can I come on your show and talk about my clothes shop? And she said yes. And then the first day I walked in, I sat down on the seat beside Mar, and I thought, oh, I like this.
I can see myself here.
I see myself here. And then it went on the wish list. And
so everyone's going to be like, can I just ring Debbie O'Donnell now and get on? It's not that easy, though, is it? Do you think it is?
Ring her with a hook if you're interested in it. If you've something, ring with a hook. Always give them something that really they need. Anybody out there who wants to get into it, you absolutely can. And if they say, no, we're too busy, no, we're too busy, keep annoying them to the extent you'll drive them so mad that they will reply.
Yeah, I'm up for that as well. I think knocking on doors and not stopping knocking on the doors, they're going to let you in at some point. I was doing a little research and I saw that you styled Rosanna Davison for Miss World. Is that right?
I did.
So another guest tonight, I don't know how I did not know that. I feel like a terrible showbiz reporter. Tell me how that happened. And Rosie, was she any good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So how did that happen?
Well, it happened because Rosanna's mum was in Foxrock and came into my clothes shop, and we started talking, and I just adore Rosanna's mum. Most of you would have seen photos of her. She's just the most beautiful lady and so elegant and so gracious and so gorgeous, and exactly what Rosanna is, and you'll get to know her and see who Rosanna is, because I've known her since back then. I went to Rosanna's house and I knew what it was going to take to win because I had judged for Krishna Naidu since I was 17.
Yeah.
So that's how I met Louis Walsh, because when I was 17 I started judging Miss Ireland when I was in the rag trade, and they'd asked me to sponsor things and I did. So I met Rosanna and I went to her home and we dressed her, packed her, and we did a little days, what to wear, what to not wear, what to bring and how to overlap, and we packed. And actually Rosanna's dad, they phoned me when Rosanna won, when it was announced, and I just knew it. I knew when I said goodbye to Rosanna that day,
she was coming back a winner.
I knew she was coming back. But as a family, they were so incredible, because Rosanna wrote me the most beautiful letter and included our gorgeous daughter, Sophie. And then they also invited me on her journey, which is a really nice thing. They could have forgotten, and they didn't. And Rosanna, being the gorgeous, kind person, which you get to know intimately here at Goss Lab. She really is gorgeous, and did bring me to the Mansion House and all of the dinners and events to thank me, and has thanked me ever since.
And tell me, how did you know what was going to win? I want to know, what's the key to winning? What way did you dress her? I know it was 2003 now, but...
Well, I knew she had it because she was so confident, and Rosanna's body, which she'll tell you about, and we'll all buy her book and support her, has always been the way she has, because she eats well all of her life, and that's what Rosanna will talk to you about herself. But I knew by her attitude, her mentality, her kindness, her warmth, and I also knew that Venezuelans were winning for years and years and years, and they were perfectly groomed. And I said, Rosanna, you need to be perfectly groomed. So we did that, and it's inevitable as to why she won it, really, by looking at her. And a round of applause to Rosanna Davison.
Miss World 2003. Very good. We'll get the crown out for you now, Rosie. So talk to me then about situations like that, styling celebrities, styling models. Is there pressure with it? Because obviously you're so well known now as well, and you're working with people that are well known. How do you feel when you get given these really big names and they're asking you to style them?
Yeah, do you know, I don't do it as much anymore, because I've honestly realised that for me doing makeovers, it's always been about the inside out. And I know myself, because I was 15 stone, and the only reason I can dress every shape and size is because I've been every shape and size. So for me, I get more joy, and it doesn't matter if there's cameras following, whether it's ITV or Expose or Ireland AM. I just love the job, and I love the result when somebody looks in the mirror and feels good. And I know how to make somebody feel that way, because I've been the person who's looked in the mirror and didn't feel all that good or great, and I know how it feels. So it gives me great joy to do it, and I absolutely just love it.
And have you ever had any divas, without naming names, or anyone ever been difficult to work with? Like, how do you deal with those situations? There must have been at least one.
I had one yo-yo, yes,
Yes.
and she's very bold, and she was absolutely outrageous. I've never heard the like of it. She thinks she was Oprah, and she definitely wasn't Oprah. And I mean, Oprah could do it, and we go, okay, Oprah. But this particular person, I must say, it taught me a great lesson, because it was about 9 years ago. It still hurts. No, it doesn't. I'm joking. It doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm explaining it. But it did really make me realize that, you know, from my mindset, if I meet Bono, I meet whoever, I meet Elton John at the garden parties, whoever, I'll treat everybody the same. And that's how we all should treat people. And this particular person thought she was a little bit better than the rest of the people.
Yeah.
And something went wrong, that something broke that she was wearing, which wasn't the person who gave it to her fault, and it certainly wasn't mine. And she had a little bit of a tantrum, and I just did something that I think everyone should do. If you're having a wobble with a friend, don't text them, because people can read a text 5 ways. And they can read it, oh no, I'm sick of you, you drive me mad. Oh, I'm sick of you, but you drive me mad. There's so many ways of interpreting text.
And now there's Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook to make it more
Pick
awkward.
up the phone and arrange to meet them. And if you think they're not going to answer the phone, put the caller ID on so that they don't see who you are. Go and meet them. Face to face. I had this discussion with her, and I said, listen, you're being outrageous, and your career is going to end very, very soon if you don't change your mindset. And I said, a little tip is you're just going to have no friends in the industry unless you sort yourself out.
And did she sort herself out? No. Another piece of advice. Take advice from Lisa Fitzpatrick.
I know the journalist's next question is, who is she?
No, I won't ask. I never would.